The biggest issue that we have here in Uganda, especially when it comes to business, might be something that's ingrained in our culture and it's going to be really hard to break. And this is something that I've observed with myself, but also with many Ugandans over the years. And I am going to give you plenty of examples. You'll let me know what you think in the comment section. Well, to have a successful business, you have to have partnerships. Now, whether that's vendors, whether that's suppliers, whether that's your investors, whether that's your employees, like people have to come together to have a successful business. And I think one of the biggest issue we have as Ugandans, we have something called we are avoidant. So we avoid conflict at any cost, and sometimes we avoid conflict before it actually happens. And many times you can see this pattern through work. A typical Ugandan, and this is not for everybody, this is not to describe everybody's character, but this is very common in Ugandans. A typical Ugandan at a job, when they have a conflict with their manager, they usually don't try to work it out. They usually keep quiet and bear as much as they can, and eventually they will quit. This has been actually studied that different cultures have different ways of dealing with culture. Different cultures have different ways of dealing with conflict. And as for Ugandans, I think the best way we deal with conflict is we completely avoid it. Now, this becomes an issue when it's time to build businesses because businesses need partnerships. And every time you have a partnership with someone else, let's say you have the idea and they have the money, when you come together, there's bound to be some conflict. Now, the way that you deal with that conflict can determine whether the business continues to grow or it starts to go downhill. Now, when we are not able to make those partnerships, it is going to be very hard for us to grow. One thing that I've realized here in Kampala, especially in the video and film industry that I'm in, I see a lot of Ugandans, especially younger Ugandans. Every single person that has a camera and a tripod stand starts a new brand. Okay, so we have many brands, we have many entrepreneurs, many people doing the same thing, but we don't have big studios because these people could be potential partners who can come together and build one thing. But because every single person wants to start their own thing, we are not able to grow. Now, the reason why they want to start their own business is because they want the autonomy. They don't want to be employees. But the issue with that is if you are one person that's doing all the work, eventually you're going to get exhausted and that business is not going to get far. But when you come together as partners in whatever capacity, you're able to build something bigger. Now, if you are a group of 10 guys that all have experience doing videos and you come together, now you have one studio that has 10 experienced people rather than having one person that does everything. Though the saying is, I would rather have 10% of an elephant than 100% of a rabbit. So the issue is you have 100% of your own business, but your business is not getting anywhere. So now this habit that we have, the avoidant habit, is what we have to work on. We have to force ourselves to get into partnerships and learn how to resolve conflict. Now, typically, when we run into conflict as Ugandans, now you can see this in many instances, like we tend to block people. Ugandans are really good at blocking people. Let's say you owe someone money and you don't have the money and you want to fix. You don't even explain because you want to avoid the conflict. So many people do that by blocking. When it comes to work, we quit without putting in a 2 weeks notice because you've had enough. Because for a long time, you've just been quiet and you've been dealing with it, finding your way out. So if you're dating a Ugandan girl, what they typically will do is if they're not happy with the relationship, they'll just disappear. They'll ghost you. So those are some of the things that I've learned, especially when it comes to businesses. I would highly recommend people here in Uganda, especially in this economy, find a way, find the right people and start doing partnerships. I'm going to be creating more videos, but one thing that I wanted to say is start considering partnerships. You're not going to be able to grow without partnerships. It is one of the ways, the fastest ways to grow. You have to find the right people, you have to learn how to work with people, and you have to learn how to resolve conflict. If you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My channel is supported by Nala. Nala is the best app that sends money from the US to Uganda. Right now, when you send $50, you get $20 by using the link in the description or by using my promo code Paradise 20. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.